Chief Justice, an important point this guy makes. Look, he was involved in the GM bailout, which a lot of people now forget, involved breaking legal contract with the bondholders for GM in favor of the unions, the auto workers unions, which is an important Democrat constituency in those states involved. Anyway, but Radner was involved in the GM bailout situation, so he was an advisor to the Treasury Department under Obama. Left-wing guy.
Yeah, court case rescheduled to April 22. Hola, hola lady, hola. Alexa, remind me court case April 22.
Okay, I'll remind you at 10 p.m. By the way, when your reminder rings, you can snooze it by saying, "Remind me again in 15 minutes."
go. Turn right, then keep left. Keep left to Whitestone Expressway North Service Road. Keep left to Whitestone Expressway South Service Road.
Decades behind bars for the murder of Malcolm X received their convictions thrown out. Malcolm X was assassinated in Washington Heights in 1965. Review of the cases found that evidence that would likely have led to the acquittals of Muhammad Ali and Islam was withheld. Islam was still alive. Islam was paroled 2 years later and died in 2009. 33 years in prison for a man who had earlier claimed murder and manslaughter in the friendly fire drive of an NYC deal. It was back in February of 2019 when 30-year-old Christopher Ransom used a realistic-looking big gun while holding up a T-Mobile store in Queens. The five officers ordered him to drop it repeatedly and then opened fire, fatally striking 42-year-old Detective Brian Simonson of Calverton, a Long Island resident and a 19-year veteran of the department. Of the U.S. Capitol rioters, the man holding a spear and wearing a horned helmet was today sentenced to 41 months in prison. The prosecutor played video of the January 6th riot at the sentencing hearing for Jacob Sansley, who called himself QAnon.
Use the left lane to keep left to Whitestone Expressway South Service Road.
Carrying a spear. It was not peaceful, the prosecutor said. That is chaos. In another video, Sansley is heard entering the Senate chamber screaming, "Time's up."
In 900 feet, keep left to I-678 South, Kennedy Airport.
Instead stressing Chansley's history of mental illness. Chansley himself said he wished he had acted differently on January 6th, but he'll have to serve more than 3 years in prison. Aaron Katursky, ABC News, New York. The investigation continues into the cause of a Long Island fire that killed 5 people. Fire engulfed an old house in Riverhead late last night. All 5 victims were found on the 3rd floor. The house had been divided into 4 apartments and was built in 1907. New York City continues to use schools in the effort vaccine sites this week. It's schools with 5 to 11-year-olds, the ones that saw high demand when the school program initially started. Now, these parents of PSA in Brooklyn Heights found it much better to go to the school. I was trying to make it a great one for them, and it does. This is even better. It makes it easy for us to apply it, and also makes it easy for us to get involved. It'll also be easy for parents to go back to school to have second dose. The city will bring follow-up sites back to all schools with 5 to 11-year-olds for the second shot the week of November 29th.
Keep left at I-678 South, Kennedy Airport.
Homicide charges against 18-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse, who shot and killed 2 men during an anti-police protest. The news is brought to you by MRIA. Learn the insider method for obtaining double-digit targeted returns on prime building locations. Adrian Watson, WOR Traffic Agent.
Good afternoon, Jeff. Outbound easterly before Atlantic, there was a stall inbound the one at the prospect. An accident reported, and the one outbound side approaching the Verrazano Bridge was extremely heavy. Eastbound LA East Coast and Queens, southbound Cross Island Parkway to Metz. Clearview is better. And Jackie Robinson Parkway, west before Metropolitan Avenue, an unauthorized tractor trailer. That's 2 days in a row. Outbound making 10 minutes on Holland up to 20. This report is sponsored by Spectrum Business. Switch to Spectrum Business and get New York City's best offer of 600 megabits per second internet, just $49.99 a month. Add phone for just $19.99 a month. Taxes business fees included. Visit spectrum.com/business/NYC. I'm Adrian Moss. The next traffic update is at 3:30 instead of 10. We get in here, almost here. Don't get too comfortable in those oversized sweatshirts, sweatpants. You still have a vision you can lose and putting it off until next year.
In 900 feet, use the right 3 lanes to take exit 13BC, Grand Central Parkway toward LaGuardia Airport, Eastern Long Island. Exit right, then use the right 2 lanes to keep right to exit 13BC, Grand Central Parkway toward LaGuardia Airport.
LaGuardia.
2 lanes to keep right to exit 13 Airport, Eastern Long Island. In 900 feet, use the right 2 lanes to keep right to exit 13C, Grand Central Parkway West. Keep right. In 2.2 miles, take exit 4, I-278 West, Brooklyn Queens Expressway toward Staten Island.
Staten Island. Staten Island.
Is necessary, and then you fight to get back what you want. So one day you come home and you don't know.
You can't always get what you want.
You got a 3-year proceeding with Comrade Omarova, and Comrade is probably going to be more interested in the state than in you. Now, if that's not enough to get rid of her on the grounds that she's in favor of changing one significant part of our form of government, which is, by the way, the goal of the entire Biden administration, is to destroy our constitutional government.
You can't always get what you want.
This would destroy the right of privacy. Oh, and just a few more things. Now, you can't get rid of Omarova on the grounds that she is a Marxist, that she's fundamentally an enemy of the American economic and political system.
Use the left lane to keep left to Terminal B. Then use the right 2 lanes to keep right to Terminal B arrivals.
Now, she could be in banking. I hope we don't give her, like, the passcodes and stuff. You have somebody guard her so she doesn't steal anything?
Right to Terminal B
More
arrivals.
serious crime than Biden. Biden charged with a misdemeanor. Well, this is a misdemeanor. Failing to show up because the lawyer instructed you that there was a privilege issue that could get you in trouble. It's theft. Theft is called stealing. Now, I do agree. This is penny ante, the Biden. Biden probably looked at this and said, oh, man, I stole a lot more than that. Man, look what I got from China. The 1.5 billion for Hunter. Yeah, I screwed the United States when I went there. That is Obama's point, man.
In a quarter of a mile, keep left to Parkway West, Manhattan.
Chinese that we put into a private equity account. But Sonny Butcher's nephew and those morons didn't even pick it up.
Can't always get what you want.
Conversation between
No.
and the selling human being.
Use the left lane to keep left to Parkway West, Manhattan.
Manhattan Skyline. Southwest Airlines. JetBlue. Delta Airlines. Wee.
Use either lane to keep right. Then turn right to Parkway West, Manhattan.
Q full.
Where did COVID come from, Joe? Trump? You probably liked that if it did. The whole world but you knows where it
Turn
came
right.
from.
Then use the right lane to turn right to Parkway West, Manhattan.
Ran the country from which it came. The guy you were sitting with yesterday, alive, thousands and thousands and thousands of customers travel around the world, infected with COVID on purpose. He is the one who sent the virus to kill your people, Joe. And they are obstructing the investigation. And you didn't have the courage, the guts, the creons, whatever you want to call it, to bring it back. Also, come on, Joe. When the guy said he's your old friend, you know what he meant? He meant we bought this guy a long time ago. You know what he meant. It's just the poor American people that get fooled. When your family gets millions and millions of dollars from the Chinese government, and you got arrangements that you get 50% of it, and then they get $1.5 billion in commitments to a private equity fund, including Whitey Bulger's nephew and John Kerry's stepson. And none of that's ever disclosed. You hide it, you cover it up. You lie about slavery involved with China even now. Who knows if China's not buying one of the $500,000 paintings? They own you, Joe, lock, stock, and barrel. There are people who are too naive to accept. There are people who are too nice to accept that. And there are people so corrupt that they know about it and don't care because they're making money on China. A lot of them. Powerful people. And you're a number one.
Make a U-turn. Then use either lane to turn left to Parkway West, Manhattan.
Although I give them a break because they were defrauded by the media. The media never covered the Chinese transactions. They were all available in September of 2020 on paper, including a unassailable contract for $30 million a year from 3 Chinese communists to a Chinese finance. If that can't unelect the president, you know what would happen. Not to do that.
Use either lane to turn left. Then use the right lane to turn right to Parkway West, Manhattan.
Everything is posted. And I can't stop going after one after another. You nominate a communist.
Make a U-turn on Central Terminal Drive. Then use either lane to turn left to Parkway West, Manhattan.
You nominate a communist to be competitive control with the currency, who has a history of talking about doing away with private banks and the government being the bank and holding all the money, and who was arrested for retail. Yeah? Maybe we could find something other than banking. Maybe she could be your special envoy to Putin or something like that, right? Or who knows? Hunter's now, I think, above his old role of being a bagman for you. He's a multi-millionaire painter. Maybe she could take up Hunter's role and collect money for you and give you 50% of it. You've been doing it all your life. And what are you doing in the White House? You're getting 50% of Hunter's making now? I don't think so, but whoever thought that Spiro Agnew and Spiro Agnew, she will work compared to you. You are top of the line, international, top of government crook. Probably, when exposed, the biggest scandal in American history. Joe Biden. And your career is one disgrace after another.
Why is my fault?
In Afghanistan. You know,
Why is my fault, Zenith? Why? What's going on? Yeah, I have the chips. Sosito. Yummy, yummy. Yummy, yummy. Dave, reschedule. Reschedule. It's good to reschedule, you know. Hopefully, office will not show up. Yummy, yummy. Yummy, yummy. Yeah, I'm going to save the video. Good idea.
The jury wants to hear it. Judge, you got to consider the following. Was doing that, in and of itself, considering all of the other monstrous errors in this trial, enough to throw this case out? I mean, there's a rule of law. It's very sacred and very ancient. Justice Jackson put it best, really. It's really like, you know, dying by 1,000 cuts. Like, no one error is enough to make the trial unfair, but when there are 1,000, then it's totally unfair. And we can't allow totally unfair trials to go on in America. This case is pretty close to totally unfair. You've got an error that usually results in this trial, commenting on his failure to testify. You have another one commenting on a person's use of an attorney as if that made him suspect or criminal. You had evidence put in against the judge's orders before. Then you had something that, man, I think something slipped in during the summation that wasn't in evidence. I'm thinking of the judges I tried a case in front of, and I mean, sometimes if a lawyer in a summation makes a reference like to a newspaper article, it's not in evidence. And he may actually be mistaken and think that it is. The judge will take his head off the trial. This was deliberate. They knew they didn't present it in evidence. They knew they slipped it in. And they knew the defense was asleep and didn't pick up on it. The defense didn't pick up on a lot of stuff that, if you have to go to an appeal, could hurt. Like all of that incorrect instruction on the law, which Professor Dershowitz explained so well last night, but the jury never heard it. So now let's see what happens. What happens with this jury? I mean, the jury notes offer very little because they can be interpreted either way. And all these
Turn left on Central Terminal Drive. Then use either lane to turn left to Parkway West, Manhattan.
Considering the case.
Use either lane to turn left. Then use the right lane to turn right to Parkway West, Manhattan.
Very, very hard to say. But we're going to find out. That case is coming to a conclusion, I say, today, tomorrow. I can remember cases where 3 notes, read the testimony, go back. 5 minutes later, they walk out. You reached a verdict, Your Honor. We'll see. I can remember juries that were out for 13 days. I can remember one where a guy locked himself in the bathroom and wouldn't come out. One of my colleagues literally locked himself in the bathroom. The jury was 11-1 for conviction of the cop. It was a crooked cop, I think selling drugs. And he locked himself in the bathroom. If the jurors didn't want to tell the judge, the jurors sent the judge a note. As if debt, inflation, and unchecked immigration aren't a big enough threat to economic growth, the new federal vaccine mandate will further break supply chains, hamstring businesses, and cripple transportation. Nearly 100 workers will be According to a Kaiser survey, 40% say they'll quit. And this comes at a time when there aren't enough workers to fill jobs or truckers to haul goods. The mandate will gut the American workforce at levels not seen since the Great Recession. Remember when our 401ks became 201ks? It can happen again. Get your money out of paper. Monetary Gold is offering up to $5,000 worth of gold on account to the first 50.
You can't always get what you want.
Less workers, more unfilled positions, more empty stores, more price caps. And retirement dollars typically invest in a paper account. Get out of paper and get it to gold. Call 1-888-204-2141 to see if you qualify for gold on a station built just for you. Entertaining, information, and New York opinion.
Aprendiendo.
An American original. Talk Radio 77 WABC and WABC.com. This is Lydia Report on 77 WABC. Here's Lydia Serrani.
The fake news, once again, the target of former President Trump. Trump is now threatening to sue the Pulitzer Prize Board. Trump is demanding that it immediately rescind the Pulitzer Prize Award given to both the Washington Post and the New York Times in 2018 for their coverage on the now discredited Russia collusion case. The Pulitzer Prize was known as an epitome of journalistic excellence. Two of the main sources now linked to the Washington Post and Times are facing criminal charges for lying to federal authorities. Trump was impeached, then cleared, but Dems held on to the hope like flies to, well, you know what. Will Trump prevail in his crusade to hold the media accountable for spreading lies? One can only hope. Lydia Serrani for 77 WABC News.
Hosts and their guests do not miss WABC Radio. It's investment. Want to reduce uncertainty? Here are 8 reasons to consider NRIA's steady monthly cash flow payouts with double-digit affordable, high-demand home and apartment assets backed is badly needed and demand booming. Substantial properties already built and selling right now supporting these. Short and long-term strategies with steady cash flow and appreciation anticipated. An industry leader with a 15-year track record of 3 million square feet built and a pipeline of $1.7 billion of new property in progress. Hedge against inflation and receive steady cash flow. Start your due diligence at nria.net or call 800-800-1414. That's 800-800-1414.
An offer of securities is only made by the NRIA Private Placement Memorandum. Read it first. Past performance does not guarantee future results. NRIA is a real estate development firm. Learn more at nria.net.
If you heat your home with oil, you must hear this urgent message. Low-price home heating oil is now available to 77 WABC listeners at a fixed price that can save you hundreds of dollars a year on your home heating bill. If you think you're paying too much to heat your home, then pick up your phone and dial 1-866-OIL-DEAL right now to see how much you, a loyal 77 WABC listener, can save on heating oil. The Home Heating Oil Service Center is staffed 24/7 and mechanics are available 24 hours a day. Never left in the cold. Just dial 1-866-OIL-DEAL. The heating oil line is now open for 77 WABC. For your home heating oil, call the Home Heating Oil.
left on Ditmars Boulevard. Turn left on Ditmars Boulevard.
You can always get what you want.
In 900 feet, turn left on 47th Street.
Should do it.
Turn left on 47th Street. You've arrived at your destination.
Yeah. How you doing? Welcome. Let's go to Astoria, 31st Street.
In 500 feet, turn right on Astoria Boulevard North. Red light camera ahead. Turn right on Astoria Boulevard North. on 28th Avenue. In a quarter of a mile, turn right on 31st Street. Turn right on 31st Street.
Yeah. Good luck. Thank you. Charlie choo-choo train, Charlie choo-choo train. End train, Charlie choo-choo train.
We should have a contest. Everybody should write out information explaining the whole idea of what is happening with the backup of groups coming into the United States. I'll call it that rather than the word that confused President Biden. Whoever gives the best explanation, we will all
Charlie choo-choo train, end train.
to have a 20-minute briefing with the president and explain supply chain. Because he believes that Americans do not understand supply chain. I have several relatively intelligent 12-year-olds who explain supply chain to me. And the younger you are, the better chance you have of winning. Okay? And we'll see if we can sneak you in to the right. I mean, I don't make the call. This is what I am. You know, I'm sorry, I'm not.
arrived at your destination.
We are at great risk of China taking military action, whether in Taiwan or someplace else. The president gave two contradictory messages on Taiwan in front of
Vanessa, where are you? Come to daddy, Vanessa.
and we've stuck to one China policy. The two have slightly different interpretations. Twice now, Biden is saying what's an independent. Now, I want it in Taiwan. And I think the commitment at some point, we're going to have to stop these guys. We're going to have to say, look, don't make a mistake. We're all in.
Speed camera reported ahead.
It's for Vanessa, yeah.
Yes, hi, how are you?
Welcome. Let's go on to the next one.
Turn right on 30th Road ahead.
Now follow the GPS.
In 400 feet, turn right on 23rd Street. Speed camera reported ahead. Turn right on 23rd Street. In 800 feet, turn left on 29th Street. Turn left on 29th Street.
Things that haven't been prosecuted in 40 years. Ridiculous and silly misdemeanor cases they have against you. The best example of all the criminal justice system is completely wasted just of people. We're going to go to
In 500 feet. Turn right. Then turn right on 20. Turn right on 28th Street. In 600 feet, turn right. Turn left on Astoria Boulevard, then turn right on 27th Street.
Beginning when they showed up at one of the houses, maybe it was Hayes or maybe it was Rosen Cohen. They showed up in all that military gear. You know, they looked like they were going after Osama bin Laden, and machine guns and helmets and big barriers to the home of some guy in the suburbs who at most, almost
Turn right on 27th Street. In 700 feet, turn left on Hoyt Avenue North, then turn right. Turn left on Hoyt Avenue North, then turn right on 26th Street. Turn right on 26th Street. Speed camera reported ahead. In Avenue.
Sick people don't exactly know the nature of their crime. Let's go to Jimmy and Brooklyn.
Hello, Mr. Mayor. I want to change what I told the screener. While I was on hold, Lydia Ceramic came on with a news break about Trump suing the Pulitzer Committee about the Pulitzer Prize award being given to the New York
24th Avenue.
Giving to the New York Times reporting on the Soviet genocide in Ukraine. I have in my hand embassy where the U.S. Embassy back then interviewed Walter Duranty. That's the New York Times correspondent.
In 900 feet.
This is the report. Duranty being interviewed. Soviet 20 pumping up the genocide in Ukraine. 10 million people murdered in Ukraine on the best farms in the world. 10 million people murdered through starvation from 1932 to 33. The New York Times got a Pulitzer Prize for basically for covering that crime up, which also led to the rise of Hitler because people were terrified of the Soviets. So the New York Times wrongly got a Pulitzer Prize back then. And Randy, the author who supposedly wrote these reports, Randy said that all the reports...
Turn left on 31st. In 500 feet, turn right on 23rd Road.
The New York Times reported transporting the Cuban George Washington. So the New York Times paper of record, their record was terrible. The old gray lady, as they just thought,
Turn right on 23rd Road.
was
Oh, sure. We'll put the side a little open. Good luck. You have a good day.
You've arrived at your
Be
destination.
safe.
Would you agree that there are similar people surrounding Roosevelt and Truman?
Beautiful, blessed.
American Marxists from the American Communist
Alexa, where's my coffee?
directly for the Soviets.
There were no matches for that in your recent orders. To view more details, go to your orders on Amazon.
Mao instead of Chiang Kai-shek. It's also why we didn't go
Lamboyota.
why we didn't go into Berlin and we gave Russia Berlin. It's why we didn't go across the Yellow River and wipe the Chinese out at a time in which they were starving. They had no real army, and they could have been absolutely destroyed. I mean, there's a lot to this, and maybe that history can be done. So we'll get back for our final words and a special piece of information I gotta give you. Talk Radio, Scotty Southern, WABC. This is Rudy Giuliani. If you don't own a home, you have nothing to fear from home title thieves. But if you own a home like me, and you don't guard it with home title lock, you're inviting home title fraud. It's one of the fastest growing crimes. Cyber thieves around the world know our home values are sky high. This is a simple crime to commit. A cyber thief simply forges your name on a property sales form and refiles it. Now, he's on the deed to your home, and you have no idea. Then he takes out loans on your home and vanishes, leaving your proof to the police that you didn't commit bank fraud. Home title lock. Barrier around your home title. Instantaneous have tampering, they help shut it down. If you have equity in your home, guard it with your life. Go to HometitleLock.com and register your address to see if you're already a victim. And enter code radio for 30 days of free protection. That's code radio at HometitleLock.com.
Titayo. WABC.
Red light camera ahead.
WABC.
fierce anti-communists. Fierce. Like the Kennedys were fierce anti-communists, although Democrats. I want to bring something to your attention that I realized when I watched Tucker Carlson's special on January 6th, and I had a conversation with several other people who are digging up very, very damaging information about January 6th as to areas where it was, maybe the most kind thing I can say in conservative, seriously exaggerated, like an insurrection where a gun wasn't fired, except that an innocent woman by the other side.
Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill is electrifying, exhilarating, uncompromising.
And over the next week or two, you're gonna find out an awful lot about him. John Sullivan is the one who took the main video of what happened inside the Capitol. Now, it wasn't really the only thing happened. It was a very much orchestrated video. Looks almost like a documentary style, very professionally done video. You should know that the man who did it was paid by one of the left-wing, pro-Democrat, pro-China, networks. But most importantly, the man who did it was out on bail for a charge of insurrection that led to homicide in Utah. And he was a well-known, self-described member of Antifa. He had at the time a very, also rather extensive group of tweets demonstrating his membership in Antifa and his agreement with Black Lives Matter. He had on Twitter or one of the others, Instagram, a training film for Black Lives Matter. And then he had several texts encouraging people to come to the riot in order to disrupt it. He also had a text which, if the Secret Service applied neutral principles, would have surely meant his arrest when he arrived in the District of Columbia, because it could be construed as a clear threat on President Donald J. Trump. I did not know of it at the time.
In 800 feet, turn left on Newtown Avenue.
I've gone crazy on the Secret Service. I used to authorize these arrests. I authorized arrests on far less than what Sullivan wrote. Sullivan then does a film in which he smashes a window open, trespasses crime. He encourages people to destroy things. He encourages people to go wild. He encourages them to go wilder. He encourages them to destroy other property. And then he just happens to be at the right place, at the right time, in order to film the shooting of Ashley Babbitt as if it happened on national television and on a documentary series. And he does nothing to help the poor woman who's still alive when she comes down, having been shot, almost like lifted up as a target. The police officer runs away. I mean, that should be a crime on and of itself. And now I'm going to give you my own testimony. I knew these facts within 1 hour. I began looking at the film within 4. My first impression of the film was, along with several other very experienced detectives, that the shooting was fugazi. Fugazi means very questionable. Looks like it could possibly be a homicide. And certainly a big problem. The shooting of an unarmed woman by a police officer.
Enjoy, Robinson. Enjoy.
Is an enormously difficult situation. It's something you don't want to have as a mayor or a police commissioner.
Alexa, wake up.
Even if it is the same race.
Good morning to you
Here it was
too.
black on
Nice
white.
to hear your voice.
Wow, somebody like to hear my voice. Wow, somebody like to hear me.
Attempting to kill her.
Alexa, how's the weather?
Out of the way for the shot.
The current weather is 54 degrees Fahrenheit with cloudy skies. Today, you can expect partly sunny weather with a high of 55 degrees and a low of 50 degrees.
Wow, somebody happy to hear about me. I'm gladly.
100 feet, turn right.
And train.
Turn right on 30th Street.
For 10 months. And the guy has a record. Here's the question, Mr. Wallace. Why do you think Rudy Giuliani, former United States Attorney, assisting United States Attorney,
In 800 feet, turn right on Newtown Avenue.
Rudy Giuliani may have an answer to that. Stay tuned tomorrow. Red Apple Media is proud to celebrate 100 years as one of America's most influential radio stations and New York's first.
WABC.
And WLIR-FM Hampton Bays. From around the world to around the block, this is a WABC 77-second news update. Good afternoon, I'm Bob Brown. On Capitol Hill, lawmakers at this hour continuing to debate whether or not Arizona Republican Representative Paul Gosar should be censured. Gosar in hot water for posting a video of him killing New York Democratic Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and then going after President Biden. Day 2 of deliberations in the Kyle Rittenhouse shootings. A reminder, 77 WABC will bring you the verdict live when it happens. A new report from ABC 7 says the FDA could authorize Pfizer and Moderna booster shots for anyone over 18 as soon as Friday. New York and New Jersey officials are already urging everyone to get boosters. This coming reporting a positivity rate of more than hospitalizations. Former Trump advisor to criminal contempt charges after surrendering to the FBI earlier this week. He's scheduled to be arraigned tomorrow. His indictment marking the first time the Justice Department has charged someone for contempt of Congress since the 1980s. The Select Committee has detained dozens of former Trump aides as part of its investigation into the Capitol riot. Millions of Amazon customers will be unable to make payments next year after the online retailer banned Visa credit cards in the UK. Amazon says it would no longer accept the cards due to the high fees Visa charges for processing transactions. The ban going into effect on January.
Newtown Avenue.
Forecast in the Remington Mazda Weather Center for the rest of this afternoon. Partly cloudy, high 58. Some clouds tonight, followed by late clearing. Temperatures holding steady in the low 50s. 55 degrees right now and cloudy outside our Midtown Manhattan studios. Traffic and transit.
You've arrived at your destination.
And remember, the news never stops. WABCRadio.com. The chairman of the board, Old Blue Eye, the ultimate swoon. Sunday night starting at 6. It's Wednesday Muscle, Sundays with
How you doing? Good. Going to Broadway, yes, story.
In 500 feet, turn left.
Sundays with Sinatra. This Sunday night starting at 6 with me, Joe Piscopo, on Music Radio. WABC, traffic and transit. At the Untitled, a 20-minute delay out to New Jersey, the outbound Lincoln 15 to 20, and problems on the Manhattan Bridge, lower deck, upward bound, shut down until further notice with police activity. That is affecting the trains. Thank you, Congressman Gottheimer, for investing in America's infrastructure and infrastructure investment and jobs. And grow the economy. It's time to build, paid for by Business Roundtable.
Turn left on 27th Street.
77 WABC.
In 600 feet, turn right on 30th Avenue. Then turn left.
Change
right on 30th Avenue. Then turn left on Crescent Street.
Golden with you. Yeah, it's both early here. Telephone numbers, if you want to be part of today's program, 800 848-WABC, 800-848-WABC, 800-848-92.
Turn left on Crescent Street.
We are very fortunate, ladies and gentlemen. Our princess, Her Majesty Princess Diana, will be with us.
In 600 feet, turn left on 30th Drive.
In Washington, D.C. and around the country politically. There is, of course, a lot of news. If you heard this every second, 77-second news break at the top of the hour, you know, the amazing thing about that is every day, of course, I listen to it, and I hear it throughout the day. But
Turn left on 30th Drive.
I know that at least 90% of the time, whatever is one of the lead stories on the 77-second news break is something that I want to
In 900 feet, turn right on 31st Street.
And today, you mentioned this business going on with Congressman Gosar. Now, I make it a habit not to defend the indefensible. And I think that this animated video that is behind everything, if you haven't heard about this, the Democrats have their undies in a bunch, as they always do every day about something or another. And today is one of those, it's a censure vote they want to take against Republican Congressman.
Turn right on 31st Street.
He retweeted some anime video with him being like a superhero and the villain in it was AOC, and he, killed the villain in the anime and then proceeded to march on to Biden. It is an animated video. That's all it is. On a social media platform. Is it in good taste? No. No, it's not in good taste. Can we just be honest about that? It's not in good taste, okay? Yes. It's not in good taste. All right. Would I have done it? No. Would you probably do it? No. But the Democrats are acting like this is the worst thing that ever happened. And I want you to listen to Nancy Pelosi's take on this. She was asked by reporters in Capitol Hill why they're spending so much energy on trying to punish Representative Paul Gosar for retweeting that anime video, and she said, and I quote, because it's an emergency. Okay.
In 300 feet, turn left on 31st Avenue.
Speaker of the House of Representatives. It is an emergency that a sitting member of Congress tweeted out an anime video into a case. He said there are legal matters in terms of threatening a member and threatening the President of the United States. Really?
Turn left on 31st Avenue.
He did not threaten a member of Congress. We have to address it immediately, and so I'm pleased that our members understand this. It's central to our work in Congress, and we must protect the integrity of the House. Now, that's a blast in and of itself. Of the institutions, but also the lives of our members. Like anybody.
Right on 34th Street.
Anime video. Now, contrast that. This is an emergency. And I want you to keep that in mind. By the way, there's another story in the Hill. Republicans are expected to back Representative Paul Gosar. You have to guess. Come on, take a wild guess. If you don't know, just take a guess who they are. The two that are expected to go along with the Democrats and vote to censure Representative Paul Gosar. Go ahead, I'll give you 5 seconds. Trey. 4. 2. Yes, you're right. Liz Cheney is 1. And Adam Kinzinger.
Speed camera reported ahead.
Kinzinger, the posted the child for pomposity, said, we have to hold members accountable who incite or glorify violence. Really? Who spread and perpetuate dangerous conspiracies. She reposted a stupid tweet of a stupid anime. The failure to do so will take us one step closer to this fantasized violence becoming real. Really? To be clear, I'll be voting yes on the Gold Star Central resolution. Okay.
Turn right on 34th Street.
If Representative Kinder believes that anime violence takes us one step to be
Feet.
go public with some message to bring in anime violence all over television, real violence in real life, then it should not be protected as part of speech at all in this country. And anime should be banned. If watching an anime once takes anybody closer to real violence, then Congress should have a duty to get rid of all anime violence and all violence. That is fictional violence on television and fictional violence maybe even in books.
Turn left on Broadway.
Let's speak about what isn't an emergency. Nancy Pelosi says, yeah, we have to do this because it's an emergency.
In 700 feet, you'll arrive.
When the nation's cities were burning down in real violence, not animated violence, over last summer, Democrats did nothing. It wasn't an emergency to wipe people's livelihood. It archened out.
You've arrived at your destination.
By left-wing protesters. The murder rate in Chicago, in many of our cities every weekend, Detroit, and dropped.
You have a good day.
New York City.
Good luck.
There's another terrific crime in New York City, by the way. The most
Alexa, where's my coat?
We have enough time today. In Los Angeles, in Oakland, California.
I didn't find any open orders for apartments. If you're waiting for a delayed package, you can check its status at your orders page on Amazon.
And adults. Addressing that is not an emergency to Nancy Pelosi. San Francisco is almost an unlivable city because of the violence and the crime. That is not an emergency to Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi. That's real violence, not animated violence. No emergency there. The out of control every American middle class and lower middle class and lower class household economically is real. That is not an emergency to Nancy Pelosi. The Americans still stranded in Afghanistan because Joe Biden put America's tail between his legs and ran away from the Taliban in a cowardly manner as any president of the United States has ever acted in the history of America. It is not an emergency. But animated violence is. The loss of our military members in Afghanistan due to that botched mission was not an emergency. But animated violence on some social media platforms is something that Nancy Pelosi and her Democrats have to take up immediately. You can go through the list. Tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of people crossing into America illegally. Some of them, no doubt, carrying the COVID disease. Others, members of drug cartels. Others, members of MS-16 and other groups that are prone to violence. They kill American citizens. Securing the borders, that is not an emergency to Nancy Pelosi or to her Democrats in Congress. The emergency is going after some congressman because he tweeted something with animated violence. These people do not have the interest of America at heart. These people posture politically, and that's all they do. They take your money, they spend your money on their wild fantasies, they economically enslave generations of people by making them dependent on the government. They mismanage the education of America's wealth, her children, generation after generation. They embroil this country in racial animus toward each other because they see political advantage in it. None of those things mentioned is an emergency. You being able to meet your bills through the rising inflation, they could care less. What is an emergency to Nancy Pelosi? What is an emergency to Nancy Pelosi? What is an emergency to Nancy Pelosi is some congressman that tweeted out an animated cartoon that has animated violence. WABC Talk Radio 77, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Connecticut. When we come back, Her Royal Highness Princess Diana will join us. Don't go away.
Entertaining talk for New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and the world. An American original. Talk Radio 77 WABC and WABCRadio.com. Get the new book from David Bonson, There's No Free Lunch, wherever fine books are sold, and the reviews are in. Someone trustworthy said, David's book mixes the old and the new, the classical and the modern, and does so in a readable way that teaches readers what they need to know about economics. No matter what you've been taught or what you think you believe, your understanding of economics will benefit and expand by reading this superb book. That trustworthy someone is me, Larry Kudlow. So get the new book from David Bonson, There's No Free Lunch, wherever fine books are sold.
COVID-19 hit New York City hard, but together we fought back hard. Together we're getting vaccinated to safely reopen our schools, businesses, and entertainment. And together we're keeping New York the safest big city in the country. With the NYPD taking more guns off the street, with violence interrupters stopping conflicts before they happen, with after-school programs, jobs, and mentoring to keep our kids safe. There's still work to be done, but we're New Yorkers, and we'll do it together. Join us at nyc.gov/together.
Come rain or shine, high winds or mild breezes, blue skies or gray, it's a great time to consider getting vaccinated against COVID-19. Sponsored by BioNTech and Pfizer.
$800 a year. 800, you say? Yes, $800 a year. That's how much the average family is putting back in their pocket by ditching Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, and switching over to Pure Talk. Pure Talk gives you the same great coverage on the same great 5G network as one of the big guys for about to call and listen. Pure Talk has a USA-based customer service, which is fantastic. You need customer service, you call Pure Talk, you're not connected to somebody half a world away in a different time zone, a different day. You're talking to somebody right here in the United States, and they will help make the switch with you. You can keep your telephone number, you can keep your phone, or you can take advantage of this. Pure Talk Black Friday pricing on new phones, like the iPhone 12 for just $479. Add it all up, you get unlimited talk, text, 6 gigs of data, and you know what? That's just $30 a month. And with their 30-day risk guarantee, you literally have nothing to lose at all. Nothing to lose. Go to puretalk.com, enter promo code WABC. You'll save 50% off your first month. And you can save on a new phone. That's puretalk.com, enter promo
In 300
code
feet,
WABC.
turn left on Steinway Street.
Pure Talk is
Turn left on Steinway Street.
wireless. Some restrictions apply. Go to their website for details.
Let's see what
Holiday. And so much more. A true connection to
Radio Royalty with Shane Golden and America's Princess of Policy, Princess Di.
And Princess Di Wilson, how are you today?
I'm wonderful. How are you doing, James?
I am okay. It has been, I get a little perturbed when it's like this Nancy Pelosi deal. It's such an emergency to go after. Come on, Diana, I know you and I both wouldn't retweet some stupid anime with some stupid bot. Yeah, it's stupid. But I mean, is it really worth all of this? We have to call the whole Congress together like it's like the biggest crisis on earth. This is an emergency. This is an emergency. Yeah, the country's going to hell in a handbasket on the Democrats, and this is what they think the emergency is.
Yes, it's very consistent. I mean, what else do you think that they would do? I mean, they have to turn the channel somehow. There is
In a quarter of Avenue.
So, this is really politically not smart because no one's ever heard of, first of all, the representative in question, and second of all, people don't know what anime is, and they don't care what happens on social media. So that's, 3 strikes and you're out, Nancy.
In 1,000 feet,
so
turn
Exxon
right.
works, and I first became aware of this guy when Rush did a story about him, Thomas Edsel. Up until then, I hadn't paid any attention to him. But since then, I read him regularly, and he has a column today that says Democrats shouldn't panic; they should go into shock.
Yes, I think you're right. I think that when Rush pointed out that column that Edsel had done in 2011, which was insider information that the Democrat Party had decided to basically ditch focusing on the working class, and particularly the white working class, which had been their basic, soldiers in the trenches and the unions and people who got out the vote for the Democrat Party. And all of a sudden, under Obama, there was this new theory, and that was they were going to cobble together the new kind of groups, the groups that had, complaints, whether it's LGBTQ, XYZ, or minority groups, as well as wealthy liberals. That was the new power base in Obama's Democrat Party. And ever since then, we have all paid attention to Edsel because that made a huge difference, and Obama was able to make it work. But they've had trouble keeping that together ever since. And if you read the analysis now, everyone who's trying to help the Democrat Party is trying to
turn right on 30th Avenue.
The working class, which they have completely mishandled and, really lost of not just white, but the working class of all races. And that is why they are suffering politically right now, because that's sort of normal Americans, the working class, quote unquote, as opposed to the rich that they have, their rich donors. It's almost as if what's being told about the Republicans for all these years, that, the Republicans were beholden to the wealthy, and that the Democrats represented the little guy, has been completely reversed. And it's hurting the Republicans.
Well, according to Edsel, they were in really bad shape, and what he did was compile opinions from around the political spectrum as part of his analysis. And it looked like when we
You've arrived at your destination.
Generic ballot, the Democrats have never done worse in a generic ballot. And in some cases, in some of the states that Trump held, their generic ballot, they are behind over 20 points. In other
all the way over there.
Yeah. Ashley, yeah?
Sorry.
Well,
You got the address, right?
yeah, what side?
Yes.
In 400 feet, turn right on 42nd Street.
NBC poll that Chuck Todd talked about on October 31st, in which the right direction, wrong track poll was wrong track 71%, right 22%. And that's when the poll numbers started being taken seriously. And interestingly enough, in that poll, Chuck Todd couldn't believe it, but there were some little reported numbers in there. On border security, the Republicans have a 27-point advantage. On inflation, Republicans have a 24% advantage. On crime, Republicans have a 22% advantage. National security, are plus 21. On the economy,
Turn right on 42nd Street.
and on getting things done, are plus 13. And he couldn't believe it, as we were saying this, Chuck Todd on NBC, that these are really
In 700
what
feet,
people
keep left
vote
to
on.
Newtown Road.
The things that, Democrats are getting credit for really aren't, and climate change, that has never been a voting issue for any group. I mean, it is for younger people now, but that's not, it's lawless that people vote on.
There's a story today speaking of climate change, that due to climate change, there's going to be a pie shortage in the United States. Because, I'm not kidding, I saw the story, I figured it out, I'm like, these people must be nuts. You can go to any freaking grocery store in America.
Keep left
You
to
go to
Newtown
BJ's,
Road.
you go to Costco, they're pies. You go wherever. Now, they may cost twice as much as they did last week, thank you, Joe Biden, but they still have pies. But now, according to these mainstream press guys, according to them, global warming, because the people can't get the ingredients they need to make pies, because global warming, it's so, here is it, it's in the Washington Post. How climate change and extreme weather are crimping America's pie supply.
Oh, it's so fun. What can't it do? Climate change and everything.
I know. Okay, and there's gas.
Change the subject. Look, when Biden took office in January, inflation was at 1.4% annually. As of October, the latest numbers we have, 6.2%. That's the largest jump in 30 years. And regular people, when they fill up their tanks or when they go grocery shopping or when they try to buy anything that's hard to find, they are experiencing real deprivation, genuine deprivation. It's not theoretical, and it's not something you can spin, and they're trying to spin. I just saw an article on Axios. The economy is great, but voters don't believe it.
Oh, please.
And New York Times did a thing on basically the problem.
In a quarter of a mile, turn left on 34th Avenue.
It's psychological with the economy. It's just that we've got ourselves in a panic mode, and it's sort of, just turning on itself rather than being actual.
So we're all nuts. We don't see what we see. We're just nuts and stupid. Yeah.
That's what we're trying.
In 1,000 feet, turn left.
Worried and panic, which is why you have this, fighting going on in the administration. You've got the forces who are supporting Kamala Harris, who are fighting against the forces supporting Biden. Everyone in the party sees that these numbers are not a winning ticket. If indeed, Trump is going to be the nominee, which is what it looks like for the Republican Party, neither of them, if they are on the ticket, will be able to be toe-to-toe with Trump, especially on the economy.
There's a story today, you mentioned Kamala, that the Democrats are trying to, they're whispering. Just do it, I think we're the black woman. Just get that black girl out of there. Right, so they're whispering that they want Kamala gone in Washington, D.C. Get her off. Now, did you read that CNN attack piece on Kamala Harris? 17 printed pages.
Yeah.
Of Kamala's an idiot and she doesn't know what she's doing.
Yes, well, we all saw that already, but on the other hand, then came back, from the other
Turn left on 34th Avenue.
This is on Joe Biden, blaming him and calling him a racist.
Right, so she went back to Joe Biden's a racist again. Yep.
Yeah, that's, the standard protocol. But I read an interesting analysis. You and I disagree on this, so I want to run it by you.
Okay.
This is Charlie Kirk's analysis. He said he doesn't have inside sources, but he believes that this energy is coming from Michelle Obama.
Ridiculous.
Who wants to be the first black female?
In 900 feet, turn right on 47th Street, then turn left.
But that's absurd.
Political talent, and I think he would be a formidable candidate.
Diana.
We disagreed on that.
Diana. Michelle Obama wants to hang out in Martha's Vineyard. She wants to hang out in Hawaii. She wants to hang out with her entertaining buddies like Beyonce and Queen Bee and hang out overseas. She hated every inch of Washington life, and she said so for 8 years, that she hated it. Why in the world does anybody think, okay, this woman's been telling us for 8 years how much she hates DC life, and she secretly wants to go back into it, knowing that she'd be one of the most hated presidents.
Turn right on 47th Street, then turn left on Northern Boulevard.
Let me tell you though, who else do they have? They have no bench, and there is a built-in that she would have going into this. Compared to everyone else, she actually has a political following. It's more of the cultural following. She is loved like Oprah is, in far as a representative of the energies and the aspirations of the Democrat Party.
Turn left on Northern Boulevard, then turn right on 48th Street.
Be a powerful candidate, and
Turn right on 48th Street.
on her feet. She's very smart, and she has the attitude that Democrats love, which is scornful and smug, and she's good with the one-liners, and she would be able to go toe-to-toe with any Republican, because she'd come up with a really sneering one-liner in response.
Michelle Obama is thin-skinned. She's worse than that whole mob of angry black Diana.
Their partisans, they love to have it.
Diana.
Yes.
Michelle Obama would be the president of the club. The club is the angry black media diva club. Okay? That's the club that's on MSNBC. Viewing racism every night. Viewing hatred for white people every night.
She is more sophisticated than that. Give her some credit. She is really good on her feet, I have to say.
Have you ever seen that woman angry? It ain't fun.
Now, I'm not saying she would win. I am saying she would be the best candidate that they could.
In a quarter of a mile, turn left on 39th Avenue.
Are really, have already fallen flat, unless you can think of somebody else. And
I think of the thing you never do it. There's one, and then sadly we'll have to grab it to find one. There's one. If it was one Democrat that the Democrats would put up, if they could ever get behind her, and I'm telling you, she would be, if I couldn't count her out.
Turn left on 39th Avenue, then turn right on 50th Street.
So a few minutes ago, you said that when I said, Mr. McConnell really means it this time on this whole debt ceiling thing that's coming up, you said the Democrats think he's going to fold. And I said, how can they? This time he told them up front, threw him across the line, he called them all those names and mocked them and laughed at him and did that whole thing. No, the Democrats must know that Mr. McConnell's serious. He said, no, they don't. They believe it's going to fold. They get it this way. And they don't.
Turn right on 50th. In 300 feet, you'll arrive. You've arrived at your destination.
You've been here before?
Sí, sí.
Yeah. Good luck.
Thank you.
Take care.
It's Andrew with Cityside Medical Clinic. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pill? Well, we have a major medical breakthrough. The WAVE technology at Cityside Medical Clinic was tested by Cambridge University and the Cleveland Clinic, and the results are in. It's proven to increase blood flow by repairing blood vessels. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED by treating the root cause, call us now. And not only will the assessment and blood sugar test be free, we'll also free symptoms. That's the powerful symptom measure. I don't think I've ever seen it fail. This is a $600 value, free to those who call in the next 2 minutes. 646-715-5555. That's 646-715-5555. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Cityside Medical Clinic now to qualify. 646-715-5555. Did you hear Joe Biden is building one between you and thousands of dollars in tax savings? Beyond security, for years, we've been using 1031 exchanges to save investors thousands of dollars in tax savings.
Speed camera reported ahead. In 1.6 miles, turn right on 49th Avenue. In 1.2 miles, turn right on 49th Avenue. In a quarter of a mile, turn right on 36th Avenue. Red light camera ahead.
No coffee now.
What appeared to be a bulletproof vest. He was briefly questioned by authorities who asked him to leave, citing a law that prohibits rifles within 1,000 feet of a school. This is the reporting.
Speed camera reported ahead.
Away in his banged up Maserati, only to return about an hour later, signed his rifle without the rifle. He says Black Lives Matter is a terrorist organization. The man who appeared to have a knife in his pocket shouted into the megaphone. When approached for an interview, he said he doesn't speak to the media. What's he there for? The alarming appearance comes a day after he was part of Black Lives Matter protesters who were shouting "No justice, no peace." At Black Lives Matter, he said to the group, "If the gloves don't fit, quit." Well, these guys, this guy sort of picture this guy. I'm not going to say that he looks like a member of the 2-inch club, but I'm just going to say that I just wonder what's wrong with people. What would make you come out of your house and show up? Why do you want to be part of this story? You dress all up and you look like you're part of some movie scene with your megaphone and your bulletproof vest around the way off 15 in a banged up Maserati, calling yourself Maserati Mike. Okay, a top general in China is warning us that China soon will be able to spring a surprise nuclear attack on the United States. General John Hyten, Vice Chairman of Joint Chiefs of Staff, said that the weapons China is building now look like first-use weapons. Just saying. Just keep that in the back of your mind. Loudon school parents are livid, sickened. They were kept in the dark about a sex survey. We talked about this the other day. The sex survey asked their kids all kind of questions about their sex lives, including have they had intercourse before. Here in New York,
gasolina, la benzina, uy, uy, uy. Uy, uy, uy.
And that's what jump-started this investigation again. There's a story out of Niagara County that is disturbing. Man raped 4 teenagers. You know how many jail time he gets? None. He's a 20-year-old. And when you go through and you read some of the things that he was saying while he was assaulting women, it was just stunning. During one of the rapes, before he told the victim while he's raping her, don't be such a baby. Told her if she stopped resisting, it wouldn't hurt as much. At 17 years old, he was caught. And he comes from a
Cash.
family with a lot of influence. Apparently, the judge says incarceration for the 4-time
Cash fill up.
4-time rape. Atlanta. A man died in Atlanta jail on Taser Tuesday. The guards coming in, they had Taser Tuesday.
The cash fill up regular.
Placed in a building, placed in a general holding cell. Inside, the father exposed himself. 6 deputies went in the cell and one of them started tasing him. They beat him, they pepper sprayed him.
Oh, coffee lang.
They tried to wash the pepper spray over him. Minutes later, he was dead while he was full of his own blood. And he was in Atlanta. Party president. Jackson. I want to be dead. Democrat. We're coming to your phones after the next break. Tennessee Democrat. They're saying, her name is Gloria Johnson, that she believes the Let's Go Brandon chat should be equal to the way people look at it, equal to burning the American flag. Really? You look what's happening in American city, city after city, and you wonder why people are saying, let's go Brandon? James Golden, WABC Talk Radio 77.
It's Carlos. Where's the other guy, Carlos?
We're coming back to your telephone calls right after this, by the way.
Talk Radio 77 WABC. Traffic and traffic. Police activity on the lower Junction Bridge. It is shut down to vehicular traffic in both directions. Lower Junction Bridge.
Yeah, okay.
Infrastructure, the infrastructure investment in jobs actually create jobs for New York workers, grow the economy. Time to go. Paid for by Business Roundtable. I'm Chief WABC. If you see your home of oil, you must hear this urgent message. Low price home sale.
Running for you.
Gas expensive now. It's fucking Biden, huh? Thank you. Have a good day. Gasolina, la benzina.
Diversifying your goals. Call my friends at Legacy Precious Metals. Legacy is the company you can trust because they give you unbiased counsel. Talk to them. They look at your individual financial circumstances and you want to make sure that they feel right. Your expert team has 40 years of combined experience in inflation.
country. She is a key partner. I don't have any predictions of whether she will run, when she will run. I will leave that to her, but I can tell you that there's been a lot of reports out there, and they don't reflect our view or our experience as the vice president. People out there who think she was Michelle, and you have.
Well, I'm not one of them. Michelle, I just don't. Come on. I'm not. I don't like the good life. They're enjoying the good life. The girls are older now. You know. Where are we headed to? Hello, Dennis. Welcome, WABC.
I just looked, is it me or is it, what 17-year-olds, besides this guy, wants to go out with an AK-47? I don't let my kid out have 17. An AK. The kid's gotta be.
You're echoing something that I said. Now, from the video, that he was and I think that we have this dominating an interesting theory. All I will say to do it because but it is the case that he's going to do it from his voice, and James will defer to that. It's a great story in his first book, The Way Things Ought to No, his first book, The Way Things Ought to Be, yeah. And
prosecution of video evidence. The Associated Press says the case could be refiled if granted. A new report from ABC 7 says the FDA could authorize Pfizer and Moderna booster shots for anyone over 18 as soon as Friday. New PSA will be hitting the airwaves beginning today, aimed at encouraging vaccination of 5 to 11-year-olds against COVID-19.
COVID vaccine for kids 5 to 11? Yeah. To your child's healthcare provider about COVID vaccines for kids 5 and older.
Governor Hochul says the vaccine is a 7-week campaign will air statewide in English and Spanish through January on radio, TV, and social media platforms. The QAnon 7 famous for wearing a furry Viking hat was sentenced to 3.5 years in federal prison today. Jacob Chansley sentenced today after storming the Capitol during the riots on January 6th. Next host the Magic, next host the Cavaliers. The forecast for rains and miles of weather center tonight, some clouds followed by late clearing, temperatures holding steady in the low 50s. Right now, 55 degrees and cloudy outside our Midtown Manhattan studios. Traffic and transit is next. I'm Bob Brown, and remember, the news never stops
at WABCRadio.com.
Music Radio 77 WABC presents Saturday nights were made for Music Radio 77 WABC and Tony Orlando. Every Saturday at 10 p.m. right after Cousin Brucey on Music Radio 77 WABC. WABC Traffic and Transit. In Jersey, an accident on the north end, Garden State Parkway at exit 143 west.
Keep right to 60th Street, west.
Bloomfield Avenue. It's about 30 minutes away outbound with Berlin, outbound Lincoln, about a 20-minute backup. And then Manhattan Bridge, lower deck, closed in both directions with police activity. Bags on your ISX gym slate. Mattress Firm can help shop the Black Friday sale.
In 900 feet,
on
turn right on 3rd Avenue.
Sleepy. I'm Jay Trelay, Talk Radio, 77 WABC.
He's involved in a number of businesses.
He's a great role model. Telling it like it is. Giving you both sides of the story. This is Cats at Night. Great American, a great New Yorker. Now, here's John Catsimatidis.
Well, this is John Catsimatidis, and it's 5 o'clock, and wow, how dark it is outside. It's getting darker and darker. But that means we are broadcasting to 36 states and in northern Canada and northern Europe. Because we're 50,000 watt clear channel. And in studio with us today is Kevin McCullough with Ansel.
Hey, nice Deputy Ansel. We're with you. Well, I mean, it's just 36 states in one more station. That's kind of anticlimactic. We are. And your other station on Long Island has it as well.
107.1.
That's right.
And we have our special guest host in Interior, Senior Vice President.
Turn right on 3rd Avenue.
Thank you, and we're going to talk about feeding the hungry today. Thanks for being here, Tony.
Thanks so much, John. It's great to be a part of this, especially Bank of America. We're also across the nation and across the globe.
Coast to coast. And Judge Richard Weinberg. And I understand you had a special day today, too. I did. We had congestion pricing coming to New York City. Judge Weinberg, maybe you have the answer. You were at a very important meeting this
In
afternoon.
600 feet, you'll arrive.
Luncheon with the Broadway Association. I'm a member of that board. We have 3 bishops and guests. And Summerman David Weapon.
Speed camera reported ahead at your
Vice
destination.
President of the National Planning Association, Ms. Flavin. And then we had Goodluck Sam Schwartz, former Deputy Commissioner of the Association. Flavin and Schwartz, the issue of congestion pricing. It was passed by the state legislature of New York, signed by the governor. It was tagged onto a budget deal in the middle of the night, literally pushed through. Judge, isn't that just another tax on the poor and middle class? I think it's a tax. I think it's unworkable. It's going to cause awful economic hardship in the city of New York if you're taxing people to come into the city in a time where we need to recover from the COVID crisis and the public safety crisis. If somebody in Queens wants to go to their doctor on 48th Street, they'll pay a premium for that privilege.
And John Catsimatidis, what about if you're food trucks? If you're
if there's a food truck that's coming in from New Jersey or from the Bronx or from Queens or Hunts Point Market, maybe they're going to have to pay $200. And guess what?
Just to get there.
You know who's going to pay for it? Eventually the consumer. Because $200 increase goes to Christini's or D'Agostino, and we pass it on.
Yeah.
So this is another tax on the poor people of the city of New York because they have to pay it in their food and in their clothing, etc., etc.
But just to be clear, Judge, what they offered, the people that supported it, right, they offered a clear understanding of what we get for paying all that extra money.
Well, the theory is that we support mass transit. The problem, of course, is The mass grade that we already have? That's right. No, that's awesome. Like 50% occupancy now? Right. That's exactly right.
Didn't we just get a bunch of money from the infrastructure deal?
By the way, the number that came out, the mission that came out said, is that plus by $20 billion anyway. So you have to tell me why they need this revenue stream. This is a revenue. By the way, it's not going to about the whole thing. It's a design line. So people are not going to look at it. It's going to be go to the top of it, you come down the west side, you get more congestion. I think they have a focus on the west side, right? First Street. It's John, you're going to come from
What's your name? But there's no, you know, stop the construction. That construction, you know.
I don't know what you're saying, but I don't know what you're saying.
In 600 feet, turn left on East
I know, but
66th
I was on the
Street.
right side. On the right side is
You know
the.
what? Then you come around the block. You don't make me walk.
So call me. You should call me and tell me to go around the block. You don't call.
I'm not gonna call. I don't even know where the heck you are. Come on.
No, you can call. You can use communication. You know. You can call. You could text.
Listen, I called and the communication it never worked either.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, just don't. If you can't come, then go. Just
So
know
call or
yourself to
text.
go
You
around
need
the
to
block.
call or text. You know.
please
You know,
call
call.
it-
I text you 3 texts, 3
I
messages.
know, I saw you. Told
So
me
why
where
you didn't
were.
respond? You said go around the block, come back on the left side, and then I'll do it. You keep quiet. It's not my fault.
Okay. Just go to Fifth Avenue. Let me walk on Fifth Avenue.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Okay, no problem.
900 feet, turn left on Park Avenue.
Go straight to Fifth Avenue.
Yeah, sure.
Turn left on Park Avenue. In 800 feet, turn left on Fifth Avenue. Turn left on Fifth Avenue. In 900 feet, turn left on East 62nd Street.
Just ignore this.
You know, I don't understand something. Maybe you could explain it. If the person that's the client, the customer says 800 Fifth Avenue, why did they insist on taking me to 61st Street? Or picking me up at 61st Street? I live on Fifth Avenue. That's where I want to go. I don't want to go to 61st Street.
Yeah, I know. This is the with GPS sometimes it's
That's their
confused.
GPS, right?
Yeah.
Can't even contact them to tell them.
There's option, a phone or text. Yeah, why not?
And I looked at options. The only option is help. And even
No,
that's
no.
doesn't work.
Look at the picture, a phone or text. Okay, good luck, good night. This is good for you? Oh, okay. This is your building, yeah?
Yes, that's my building.
Okay. Good night. After you, I'm gonna go home too. Take care.
Comma, Eliyahu Halia, or
מה קורה? קורה?
זה הבדיחה?
כן.
קורה, מה קורה? אתה בבית?
לא, אני אהיה בבית ב-6:15.
6:15?
אין אישור להיות בבית לפני 6.
היה לא מרסן.
יש צו הרחקה.
צו הרחקה?
ממש צו הרחקה.
איזה קטע.
איפה אתה? במשרד?
עכשיו אני יוצא מהמשרד. היה לי עבודה $400. רווח זה $200 בערך.
200. לקורקינטים שמים רמקולים גדולים, עושים קורקינטים.
ומה? יש אחד, יש לו קסדה, יש לה קסדה אור, איזה מצחיק. אנו כזה אור כזה, ארוך כזה, לא נורא כולה.
אחד נוסע עם אופניים, הוא שם מסכה של ראש סוס, זה מצחיק, נראה כאילו סוס נוסע על אופניים.
54 בלקסינגטון למשרד.
זה מה שרציתי לשלוח לך באותו יום.
כן, במשרד. הייתי בכמה.
שאני אומר, זה קרוב לסטורג', זה משרד טוב, לא? יש שם שירותים, לא?
כן.
עושים לך בעיות להישאר או לא להישאר?
לא.
כן, בסדר.
ביוניון סקוור עושים בעיות, יש אחד. כזאת, סתם... כל הזמן שומעים אותה מדברת, לא מפסיקה לדבר. הכל שלה.
לא נהנה על זה.
איך קוראים לו? אני עושה אחרי שעומד לי, אתה עושה פה אתה מזמן, זה מוגבל ל20 דקות, וזה.
תגיד לה שתראה לך שלט.
אמרתי, היום זה לא בגלל שאת אומרת לי, זה בגלל שלא סובל לשמוע את הקול שלה. עוד בראש. אני עכשיו ליד הסטיקות. אני יושבים שם פעם. הלכתי פעם לשבת סתם. לא רק מעניין.
רוצים לעשות כאילו מי שמכוניות באים למנהטן, לעשות להם אגרה וזה.
גם בארץ רוצים לעשות את זה.
השטויות האלה. רוב האנשים הנהגים, אנשים פשוטים, מה אתה חושב? נהגי מוניות, נהגי מסעיות, כל האנשים שבאים לעיר לאנשים, אנשי עבודה, הם טכנאים וזה, אתה מבין?
קודם כל מי שעובד עם האוטו, הוא לא צריך לייסר. הוא לא צריך לקבל את האגרה הזאת. רק מי שבא באופן פרטי, אתה מבין?
בסדר, זה סיפור אחר, אתה מבין? אבל בכל זאת, התשלומים יעברו לצרכן, מה אתה חושב? נהגי המוניות, על משאיות וזה,
לא,
יעבירו את האגרה לצרכן.
אני אומר על נהגי מוניות, נהגי אובר, נהגי אלה שעובדים עם הרכב, אתה מבין?
אני אומר, זה מה שיקרה.
אני אומר על האנשים הפרטיים.
נכון, בסדר,
למה באו
אבל
לפה אנשים?
אם יעשו את זה על האנשים...
בטח שיעבירו את זה לצרכנים, מה הם?
הצרכנים אנשים רגילים, זה כמו טקס על העניים, מה אתה חושב?
זה בדיוק העניים, אתה חושב. קודם כל החושבים פה נראה לכם מסתובבים פה בפניות. זה בכלל לא פוגע באחרים.
גם אם יעשו להם טקס, זה לא מזיז להם.
אתה חושב כל זה מזיז להם, כל העליות לזה. בכלל לא מזיז להם כל העליות.
תאמין לי, כל השטויות האלה שעושים, זה יהיה לטובת טראמפ בסוף.
הנה, הם טראמפ, המחירים עולים בלי סוף. גם בארץ המחירים עולים.
same shit.
כן.
בארץ שמעתי שאנשים מעדיפים להזכיר לשחורים ולא לישראלים. אומרים, הישראלים תמיד עושים בעיות בתשלומים.
כן, מזכירים בפרספורים, גם בבית של אבא.
אומרים, השחורים משלמים בזמן.
זה מנטליות אחרת, אתה מבין? בטח שמה באפריקה יש להם את המנטליות שלהם בזמן, אם לא יורים בהם שם.
לא על זה, אלה אנשי עבודה, הם רוצים מקום, הם יודעים שהם צריכים מקום, אין להם מה לשחק משחקים, אז הם ילכו לעבוד מה שיש.
כן, הם עם מקום, עומדים וזה, יוצאים אחרי העבודה לנוח, לשים את הראש,
חשוב להם המקום. ישראלים כנראה שזלזלים.
מזלים יש להם לאן לחזור, אתה מבין? תבין יש להם לאן לחזור, ככה הם מזלזלים. מה, אני גם פה ישראלים אתה מזכיר להם, הם עושים עוונטות כאלה.
מהניסיון שלנו, היה לנו צרות רק מישראלים.
כן.
אלפים של באים דיירים, אין שום בעיה. רק באים ישראלים עושים בעיה.
כן. אתה ישראלי דווקא ככה התקרלו אותה כזה, אתה חיינה יותר? אתה ישראלי, כי אתה אומר תקרלו אותה, מה? מרוויח עלייך, דברים כאלה, אני ערב ממנה.
לפעמים אני רואה את קרלוטה, אבל שאחת דומה לה, באזור של 55. נראה לי שהיא עוד גרה שם.
כן. פעם אני רואה אותה, אז היא אומרת, קרלוטה, מה העניינים וזה וזה. אז היא אומרת, תסתכל, אני אומר לה, מה להסתכל? אתה לא רואה שינוי שם, משהו משונה, ואני אומר לה, אני רואה כל דבר, מה משונה? אתה לא רואה? אני אומר לו, מה משונה? אני רואה, אין שום שינוי, מה משונה? עכשיו הייתי בסלון תסרוקות במדיסון אבניו, $300 נתתי לו איזה תספורת עשה לי. אני אומר לו, מה עשה? רק עשה ככה עם היד ואמר לה $300. בכלל לא נראה שום שינוי.
הקטע דומה לביבי נתניהו. הוא אומר, נוסע מדיסון אבניו, אומר, טוב, אני רוצה להסתפר, עוצרים מספרה, הוא לא יודע שזה יקר שם. יעזרו לו 2 שערות, שמו לו קצת צבע סגול, לקחו לו איזה $600. אמרו לו, מה, אתה משלם $600 על תספורת? הוא אומר, מה, זה מה שדרשו? אבל לא ידעתי בכלל, כי תמיד יש אנשים שמשלמים עליו. אם הייתי יודע את זה, לא הייתי מסכים לזה, בשביל פנים ואופן.
הוא רגיל לשפר ב50 שקל, אתה יודע, בארץ המספר ב50 שקל ואשתי.
אומר בכלל, שמו לו צבע סגול שהוא היה מבסוט מזה בכלל.
אבל תמיד בתמונות בהם שיש לו צבע סגול.
צבעו לו סגול.
אתה צחק סגול. אתה תובע בסגול להקים מצחיק. איזה מצחיק של סגול. מנה אומר לי, זה, יש איזה הומלס אחד, אני הולך להביא אותו שיגור אצלי, בחינם.
כן. מפגר.
אני גרתי אצלו, עשתה לי את המוות, ומביא הומלס ברחוב בחינם. אמר לו, אל תביא שהומלסים ברחוב, כל ההומלסים הם אנשים רעים. תצטער מהם.
בחורה אחת מסטינפלס הביאה הומלס אחד לגור אצלה בבית, הרג אותה, השתלט לה על הבית, לא יודע איזה צרות עשה.
אמר לו, תיזהר מההומלסים האלה.
לא, מה התוכנית שלו? התוכנית שלו כאילו הוא מביא חסר בית לבית, דואג לו ועושה GoFundMe, כאילו יעשה כספים עליו, אתה מבין? כאילו תרמו לו כספים.
וגם מה הסיפור של GoFundMe? אם אני הולך לבקש GoFundMe, אני צריך אישור משהו?
לא צריך אישור, לא צריך כלום. יוסי מתקשר, רוצה שנחדש לו את ה-GoFundMe, אתה יודע.
כן, תחדש לו.
איך תבדוק את זה? אנשים עושים כספים על שטויות. החתול של החולה, הכלב חולה. אחד יש לו פאנצ'ר, אחד אין לו כסף לשכר דירה, כל מיני סיפורים מצחיקים, בזיקים שם, ואנשים עושים 100-200 אלף דולר.
כן, גם יש אחד מהכרטיסיין הזה, ילדה אחת, יש לה ליין של תמרוקים וזה, אז האנשים הולכים לצאת במבצע, לעשות לכל פולמי, שהיא כל כך מסכנה, חסר לה עוד 100 מיליון בשביל להגיע למיליארד.
מי זאת?
איזה אחד מהילדות של הקרדשיין.
כן.
יש לה ליין כזה של תמרוקים, היא עשתה איזה 900 מיליון דולר, שומע?
כן.
אז עושים... כל כך מסכנה, היא צריכה להגיע למיליארד דולר, בואו לעזור לה להגיע למיליארד דולר.
הרבה פסיקים שיזרמו, מה?
תרמי והגיעה לזה, מה אתה חושב? אומרים, כל כך מסכנה הקרדשיין הזה, היא חייבת להיות במועדון של המיליארדרים. איזה קטע הזה.
יש כל מיני בזיקים, חדיד, קרדשיין, וזה, לא, אין להם שום כישרון, לא עושים מיליון.
אבל חדיד היא דוגמנית זמרת.
זה דוגמה, אבל הרבה כמו קרדשיין, וזה.
כן, סתם דיבורים על כל מיני חרטות, שעושים מיליארדים. פשוט מגניב שיש אנשים פרעים קצת ככה, לא עושים שקל, ואנשים מכלום עושים כסף.
זה התכסיס. כמה שיותר לא לעשות כלום. כל הוויטמינים, ההורדות משקל, כל התוכניות האלה, כל הג'ים למיניהם.
גם אלה, עושים לך ביוטיוב כרגע, אתה תפתח יוטיוב כרגע מופיע לך מודעה שאנשים איך לעשות כסף.
היוגה, איך לעשות כסף, וזה.
כן, והם אומרים לך, טוב, תצלם לי את זה, ואני אראה לך איך לעשות כסף. הם מרוויחים מזה שמשלמים להם.
כן. ואתה אומר לך, שלחם אותך לאיזה קורס, מה?
זה כמו פעם, שמתי מודעה בארץ, רעיון מגניב איך להרוויח. זה, כלומר, אז היה לירות, איך להרוויח 20,000 לירות בחודש, פעם היה משכורת בלירות. אז זה קוראים לו, וזה היה משכורת הממוצעת, אתה מבין? המינימום. איך להרוויח, איך לעשות 20... וצלחו לי הרבה אנשים, וכתתי את כל אחד 10 שקל, היה עד זה. כמו היום 10 שקל, אתה מבין שהשתלחו לי. עשיתי את זה ככה, כמה אלפי שקלים טובים, ולכולם זרחתי תשובה, תלך לעבוד, תלך לעבוד, תלך לעבוד. ופעם אחת עשיתי את זה שוב פעם, ואמרתי להם, תעשה כמוני, תעשה כמוני, תעשה כמוני. איזה קטע.
נתפס.
למה הולך עם שחוריים, אה?
תעשה איזה דוגי קרק, תמצא לך איזה מקום, תגיד שאתה מלון לכלבים. אנשים יזרקו את הכלבים, החתולים אצלך בבוקר, יקחו בעיה.
עלה לך? תזכיר מקום שזה $2,000 לחודש. תזכיר את המקום, $10,000 לחודש. מה נראה לך?
זה לך איזה מחסן, משהו.
מחסן, איזה חמד. כלום מחסן פה במנהטן עולים גם כסף. שים אותם בסטורי.
תעלה את הסטורי.
וכל מיני נביחות שמעים שמה.
זה קטעים, אתה מזכיר סטורג', אתה עושה אותו כלבייה, איך ההנהלה יהיו שם.
אסור לך מזה, הם בעלי חיים. אוקיי.
איפה זה כתוב?
ברור, מה זה? איזה רישיונות אתה צריך שאתה עוסק בדבר חי, לא משנה אם זה חיות לאדם, אתה יודע איזה רישיונות אתה צריך. משרד בריאות, משרד זה. כמו פעם הלכנו עם מנה לאבא לחזנו לאיזה מישהי אחד, זה איך קוראים לו, שיש לו כבשים. אז מנה ראה שיש לו כזה, מכונית מפוארת כזאת, וזה, הוא אמר, סימן שהוא עושה כסף מהכבשים. אז הוא אמר, וואלה, אני גם אלך יקנה לי כמה כבשים ויעשים מזה כסף. אני אומר לו, אתה יש אישור של וטרינר, אישור של משרד הבריאות, אתה חושב סתם מגדל כבשים סתם? הוא אומר לי, מה אתה מבאס אותי כל דבר שאני סתם? הוא אומר, אני אעשה כמו הערבי, כמו הבדואי, ואין להם רישיונות, אין להם כלום. אני אומר להם, כן, אתה ראית איך הכבשים שם נראים? על הפנים, כאלה רזים, עולים הרבה פעמים. ואז הוא רוצה לעשות, לקחת את העומס, לעשות לו גוף. איזה מלא. אני עושה גוף פארטי להומלסים. יאללה. מה תיזהר, ההומלסים האלה אנשים מסוכנים.
השליחים שנסעים באופניים, באים במראה.
מה לי עשיתי שחויות $2. What do you put there, Allegra? Allegra? Huh? L5. Where is it? L5? Where is it? How much the menorah? I'm not sure. Okay. זה חנוכה. CBS.
CBS?
כן, CBS.
נשלח את התמונה ששלחת לי לרחל, נראה איך היא תהיה.
זה של הבאג?
כן. אני אגדיל אותה ככה בגדול. תראי איזה באג ענק מצאנו שם. אמרתי לה שתקנה מזרון.
Where is the Allegra? Then they are fine. How's it looking, guy?
Thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Ray.
This how much? Let's see this. 49. Same price.
אני צריך להתקשר, אני אעזור לך אחת. Protester marching in the street. I wonder why. Maybe the verdict, Kenusha. The verdict of Kenusha, let me see.
Major impacts to the tri-state, but it wouldn't take much to shift that farther west, and we saw a long time until this storm develops. So it just takes a little small change, and it can wind up with a pretty sizable change in where the storm will end up. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that over the next several days. Again, looks like we'll have some rain Monday, some wind Tuesday. If that storm is close enough to the coast, could have some heavier rain that lingers longer, and potentially some stronger winds as well. Lori?
Keep it locked in to 1010 Winds and 1010winds.com for the very latest on this potential major storm. Wind news on 544. A tragic story out of Lower Manhattan this afternoon. A construction worker fell to his death while painting on the Manhattan Bridge. This happened at South Street and Pike Slip right near the FDR Drive. He landed on the ground near the FDR Drive. It's not clear what happened. Sources tell 1010 Winds wind may have played a role. The bridge's lower level was closed to traffic while police investigated. Former Trump advisor Steve Bannon is pleading not guilty to criminal contempt of Congress charges. That's according to a notice filed in federal court ahead of a hearing tomorrow. Bannon is scheduled to appear before U.S. District Judge Carl Nichols in Washington. According to the filing, Bannon said he did not need to have his charges read by the judge in open court. He appeared in court Monday following his arrest. With news time, 5:45. The so-called QAnon shaman has been sentenced for his role in the January 6th insurrection.
34-year-old Jacob Chansley was sentenced to 41 months in prison. His attorney, Albert Watkins.
Mr. Chansley owned his responsibility. He sought to be accountable. He was and has been held accountable.
Chansley had become known as the QAnon shaman for his belief in a conspiracy theory involving former President Trump. He stormed the Senate chamber shirtless, wearing face paint and a fur hat with horns.
Correspondent Steve Dorsey reporting during sentencing, Chansley quoted Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas on scenes from The Shawshank Redemption and admitted he was wrong to enter the Capitol and said he was not an insurrectionist or domestic terrorist. A popular Lower Manhattan statue is facing eviction.
Since 2018, the Fearless Girl statue right here in front of the New York Stock Exchange has been a magnet for photo ops with a 4-foot-high statue symbolizing gender diversity. Apparently, though, the permit expires in less than 2 weeks, and the issue isn't being taken up by city agencies until mid-December. Those here visiting say they better not take the Fearless Girl away.
It seems like everybody wants to one-up somebody else. I see no reason, if it's not harming pedestrians, walkways not posing a danger, leave it up. I don't understand why we're going to take a symbol of empowerment of young girls away.
But the future of the Fearless Girl apparently uncertain. One shot, 10-10 wins. They're in front of the New York Stock Exchange.
With 546, exoneration is expected in the Malcolm X assassination. That story is next.
Fox Weather app is about to change the way you think about weather. Welcome to a new world that will blow your mind. America's weather team is on the new Fox Weather app. Download now at foxweather.com. Follow American Christmas, a new book written by Rachel Campos Duffy and Sean Duffy.
Protest. Coco. The heck is this? Where is that supposed to be?
was involved. Permit RVs are really strong, long-maintained. They're in the 1980s. Islam passed away years later. Aziz is 83 years old. Julia Popham is in Wednesday. With income 529 and is a member of the West Moody Crew. Suing over the deadly onset shooting of the film's cinematographer, script supervisor, Amy Eshel. The crowd of complaints from local
know there's a protest going on.
You see, after tonight, we would like to be respected. All we're looking for is respect. We work hard for them in the COVID, everything. We work hard on the front line. This time, we need them to respect me.
Like to be respected.
And next year, please, God, we want the Parkway in Manhattan.
Healthcare worker.
And remember, anytime they say they have no carnival again, is one thing they cannot stop people from.
Can stop people from power. Healthcare worker protest because they've been fired or something. Yeah, middle of the street, 7th Avenue, in 35 to 38. Height. Every day something else.
Like a real-life action hero. Website optimization. And our clients reap the benefit with major strides in their SEO, like more traffic, impressions, and revenue. Business teams even help them create social media marketing campaigns and set up endorsing live traffic. However complex your digital challenges, from digital marketing and strategy to web development, UX, and more,
Yeah. Okay, I missed the tomatoes. I'm gonna say goodbye here. Thank you, everybody. Yes, see you tomorrow. Peace and love. Peace and love.
I now run D'Agostino & Associates, a personal injury law firm I built right here in New York and New Jersey. For over 30 years, D'Agostino & Associates has been helping accident victims get every dollar they deserve. We've recovered millions of dollars for people just like you. Call now, 888-24-LAW-24. D'Agostino & Associates, personal injury law firm that offers free consultation.
See you tomorrow. Peace and love. Peace and love. Thank you for sticking around. The court case adjourned to April 22, 22. That's a good sign. Hopefully by then we get dismissed. See you tomorrow. Peace and love. Peace and love. Thank you to Ray, Zenith, Shelly, and Anthony, and who else in the building? Wade Braxton, TBS, Saminian. Much love, much love. See you tomorrow.